Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Unorthodox Vegan. My name is Sean Gold, and today we're going to make Freezie Pops. Now, the reason I decided to do that is that my grandkids' school has a Freezie Friday, and they just started doing it. So I know it's the season is fast approaching, where the summertime, where you're going to be wanting to have something cool and crunchy and flavorful to eat. So I did some investigation on how to make those Freezies in the best way. And I saw this website, Love and Olive Oil, that had an interesting approach to it. So what we're going to be doing is taking the fruit, and I'm going to be using watermelon this time, and some pectin for thickening, and some citric acid, which really helps the flavor pop. So I was able to get some food grade citric acid at a local natural food store not too far away, and picked up some, and we'll be doing that. We're making freezies. I don't like using the plastic tubes, only because the ones that are on available on Amazon don't look like they're that good for you. The ones that are recyclable are the ones that you probably want to get. I just don't have anything around, and I wasn't going to order them. I didn't see the need to actually have them. Now you can use popsicle trays or just using ice cube trays. But one of the things I thought I might try is using a muffin tray, and I already had these popsicle handle things. So I'll be putting those things in there once I put the liquid in there. And then we'll throw that in the freezer, and we'll have those ready. When the grandkids come over, we'll pop one out, and they can have a nice little freezie for them. And that'll be a great treat and flavorful and healthy. So we're going to make this in a moment. Let me just get set up, and we'll be back in a moment. Now, the first step, obviously, is to cut up the watermelon. And as I said, I already had this in half, but I'm going to be cutting it into half again. And I've got just a nice solid knife here, which is able to do that. So I'm just going to be doing that this way, and half again. And then I'll be cutting these pieces up and just cut the ends off. And then I'll be cutting it into some chunks. I probably only need a half, so I'm only going to cut up a half. Get this other half out of the way. And then I'll just be using a smaller knife to take the flesh out. All right, so I have got the fruit chopped up into big chunks, so I'm going to just make it into smaller pieces and throw it into a bowl here, or container here, which I'm going to be used to use my immersion blender. I do not have a proper blender. Never bought one, never needed one. Well, we used to have one years ago. I have a food processor, and I figured you can do that in there, but I like the immersion blender. It's just so much easier to work with. So I'm just going to cut this stuff up, throw it into a plastic container as a temporary spot. I don't have a bowl that's vertical, and for an immersion blender, it's really nice to have that. And we're trying to get about 12 ounces of fruit here, and I think this is about right. According to this recipe, that should work out well. We're going to throw this in there. We're going to add in, just in advance, we're going to add in half a cup of water. And I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Again, the citric acid, I know I'll be putting in the citric acid in a moment, but the lemon juice and the added citric acid really makes the flavor pop. I wasn't aware of that until I read this recipe, which again is Love and Olive Oil. And I tried it out, and I thought it really does work. So I'm going to give it a shot again. So getting the citric acid, have the water in there, and lemon juice. And I'm going to be putting in just a half teaspoon, not a lot, of the citric acid powder, which is just a small amount. It's not a lot, I said, but it does really, really makes the flavor pop. Okay, I'll be using an immersion blender. It's going to get noisy, so I am not going to make you listen to the whole thing. Oops. But, all right, that's done. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. All right. Okay, as you can see, that's nice and smooth, a little frothy. I'll be putting it on the stove. We'll move you over in a minute. We'll be cooking that up. Back in a bit. All right, I've got the watermelon pureed in a pot. I've got it warming up. I've got it on a medium-high heat here. I want it to get it into a boil. Before I do that, though, I want to add in a 1/4 cup of white sugar. Get that in there. And I'm going to be adding in about a teaspoon of pectin. I don't want this to turn into jam. I just want it to be thicken up a little bit. All right, I've taken the the watermelon off of the stove. I'm going to pour it into a measuring cup with has a pour spout so I can pour it better into this muffin tray. Hopefully I won't make too much of a mess here. And it's going to need to cool down for a while before I decide to put the handles in, those plastic pop handles, Freezie Pop kind of handles, right? Popsicle handles. And then I am going to put it in the freezer once it's down below or around at cool room temperature. Here's a big reveal. I have taken this out of the freezer. I have warmed up the bottom just a little bit so that you can I can actually carry these up, pick these things up. Hopefully you can see. I'll just get this thing a little higher. There we go. All right, let's do a taste test. Oh, nice. You can bite into them without breaking your teeth. Well, very watermelony. A little bit of lemony too from the little bit of lemon juice in the citrus. It really does have a lot of flavor though. I think that's a citric acid. And I believe my grandkids are going to love these. Oh, yep. That's a winner. All right. There you have it. What do we got there? Watermelon freezer pops or Freezie Pops. Easy to make, very simple to make. Just take your fruit, put it through a blender, add in some lemon juice, add in some citrus acid, and then put it in a pot, let it, bring it to a boil, put in some pectin and some, I think there's something else, and sugar, and of course a little bit of sugar, and away you go. So that's it for this episode. I think it's episode 30 of the Unorthodox Vegan. My name is Sean Gold, and as always, you can reach me on my email address right up here at vrcompanions@gmail.com. Also, I'd really appreciate if you follow me on my YouTube channel. That is www.youtube.com/@the_unorthodox_vegan/. Until next time, again, my name is Sean Gold. Have a great day.